Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about the future of international nurse recruitment and consider if it is going to be a solution to the nursing shortage in the long term, and talk about the patient populations that nurses leave behind whenever they move over to the US, Canada, or the UK. A post yesterday got my attention. It was on a website called Fager.com, and it was coming out of Ghana, where the health system is struggling due to the loss of specialist nurses. Gifty Ari, who's head of nursing in Accra Regional Hospital, the capital city, she said that the ICU there has lost 20 nurses alone to the UK and the US the last 6 months, with severe consequences. She actually said there are delays and it costs more, and mortality, patients die. And I've been looking at nurse recruitment internationally over the past couple of weeks and had a few conversations with different firms. And I think this is a topic that is becoming more prominent, but often people don't really consider the ethics of it or the communities left behind. I've got a few takes on it. The first one is, from what I've read, it's quite clear that if a nurse leaves a poor country which itself is struggling to cope with growing population and low uptake of the nursing profession, it's going to affect that system negatively. We can't get around that and we can't deny it. It seems like a lot of health system leaders don't talk about that a lot. I think they should. Everyone wants to appear altruistic these days, and it seems like this issue is being brushed under the carpet. I would like to see it talked about more. My personal stance is that if a nurse wants to leave their country where they think they can get a better life elsewhere, it's a bit paternalistic to say, we know better to you and you shouldn't leave. You can't leave. People should have that choice. And if there's a hospital in Kansas willing to hire a nurse from Lagos, then both parties are willing and the nurse should have the opportunity to do so. Rather, we ourselves should be prioritizing investment in making nursing a more attractive profession at home, alongside going to these other countries. I think history will judge us quite poorly for spending time on taking Ghana's nurses whilst neglecting the attractiveness of the profession back home, especially with AI and automation rapidly advancing in the next 10, 20 years. A lot of professions are going to be replaced by machines. It's already basically happened for a profession like telemarketing, for example. And you see reports of self-driving cars. We know that trucking is, I think it's the biggest employer of men in the United States. A lot of jobs are going to be taken away by AI, but nursing will remain. We're always going to need human nurses to help us, and as the population ages, it's a real exciting growth area as profession, and we should look into how we can expand the number of nurse educators in particularly, and the resources available to nursing schools, alongside looking abroad. I think your stance on this is always going to depend on how you lean politically, and because Western economies, particularly the US health system, is liberal market focused, it's viewed as free movement of workers. I don't see it stopping because of the ethical concern, and I think it actually gives us a good perspective that people across time usually are going to look out for themselves and their own group first, and give us a different way of looking on the behavior of our ancestors and of those who come after us. Now, interestingly, Africa is projected to add 1 billion people by the 2050s, and of course, a greater population is going to require more nurses. But the UK government has set up plans to invest £15 million into Ghana and I think Nigerian health systems to support them. I think there's a real opportunity here as population growth in Africa outstrips that of the West, for international nurse recruitment to expand and for there to be more opportunities and more direct investment from the West into countries in Africa to aid them in education and aid them in producing more nurses than perhaps they need so that they can be exported over to our countries. I think when you look at the money that could be put into this, if international nurse recruitment is a proven model, then perhaps that money's better served in an area with a fast growing population than one where you have an aging, slow growing population, if not declining in the case of some Western European countries. So, love to hear your opinion on this. I think is going to be with us for years to come, international nurse recruitment, and tens of thousands of nurses have already left their home country to make a better life and care for patient populations in a different continent in many cases. It's great work that they're doing, but we should be thinking responsibly about this and considering how can the countries that are taking nurses away reinvest into their home nations so that not only can those nurses be replaced at a worthwhile rate, but also more nurses are produced that could come over to the countries that are a bit richer, but also need nurses at a growing rate due to aging population and declining young populations. That's my view on it. Check us out on LinkedIn, Nurse Recruitment Experts, and drop a comment on my post on LinkedIn if you have a view on this. Looking forward to delivering more nurse recruitment analysis and expertise next week. So thanks for joining and have a great weekend.